service, recipes, and restaurants. Spoony.
Hey folks, this is Chef Patrick Mosier, better known as the Food Biz Pro, here on Spoony Radio. We have shows regarding food, food culture, the restaurant business, consulting services for businesses, startups of all sorts, not just the restaurant industry. We talk about travel, food destinations. It's a lot of food, fun, and family. Mike from the World Food Championships will be coming on, giving us a weekly update on Saturday afternoons on what's new in the world of food sport. Yes, folks, I said food sport. No, it's not where competitors walk into Kitchen Stadium and beat each other to death with a limp fish. It's where you have 2,000 events which lead to the World Food Championships. Join us for the World Food Championship updates every week. Join us on Spoony on the Dash Radio Network, 24/7 Food Talk Radio.
We're not solving all the world's problems, but we're bringing people to the table. Spoony, food and fun.
There's a new food show sheriff in town, Podna. Trey's Chowdown Podcast Live will feature celebrity chefs and pitmasters with celebrity mixologists with creative cocktail menus from distilleries statewide. We'll have farmers, ranchers, wildlife experts, fishermen, and more, all for the culinary world and the foodies. Live from the Spoony Studios on the iHeartRadio platform, Trey's Chowdown Podcast Live. Hey everybody, it's Trey's Chowdown Live here. We're here with Chef Chris Patrick of Abacus and Jaspers and Plano and Woodlands, right?
Yes, sir.
Plano Woodlands. We're gonna have an interesting show today, so we're just gonna get right down to it, everybody. So, Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Trey.
Thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Good. So, can you tell us? We're curious a little bit about your career. Can you tell us about your career? Kind of what made you want to be a chef and how you got started?
It's kind of a long story.
That's okay. We got an hour.
Well, what got me into the business, I grew up in a small town in East Texas called Athens, and my buddy's dad owned a little Tex-Mex restaurant in the town, and I wanted to go on a trip, and my mom said that you need to pay for it, so I had to save money, so I needed a job, and so my buddy's dad hired him and I to come and work on the weekends. 2 nights a week, Friday and Saturday, and he paid us $40 cash, and to wash dishes, bus tables, that sort of thing. And that was my intro into the business. I was 14 years old. And
you know, I got to stop you real quick for 1 second. You were 14. Blaine last week, Chef Blaine, he wanted to go out with a girl, and so he lied on his application so he could get a job, get money to go out with a girl. Both of you are 14. That's good. Weird. Anyway, go ahead.
There's something about that age. You're kind of ready to be independent, but you can't really get a full-time job.
A little bit rebellion too. You want them to tell you no, you can't do it. Yeah.
So I stuck in the industry. I worked in the front of the house when I was 16. Get a little bit of extra gas money, so I'd take girls out.
Right.
And just fell in love with it. The entire time I was always looking at the back of the house because I was interested in the creativity and the chaos and madness that was going on back there. Right.
Well, to clarify that, the back of the house is the kitchen. Now everything goes on behind in the back of the scene. So some people listen might not know that. So.
Right. And so eventually I was living in Austin at the time, and a buddy of mine went to culinary school in San Francisco, and so I was I was an aspiring musician at that time in Austin. Couldn't really make any money out of it, so I decided to fully commit to the industry and moved to the back of the house and started working in a catering company, and moved to Dallas in 2001, and just put my nose to the grindstone.
So did you ever go? So were you living in San Francisco, or your buddy was just there?
My buddy, he had been working at a couple restaurants in Austin, and he moved to San Francisco. I was kind of looking around at schools, and so I decided to come to Dallas since it was closer. Okay.
And did you go to culinary school, or were you self-taught?
I went to the Art Institute here in Dallas.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. So after you got there, what was your first job?
I think out of culinary school, I took a job at a place called Jaden's, which is actually very close. It was very close to where Abacus is now, and that place lasted about 10 minutes.
It's not very long,
Not very long. And then Nobu was opening up at the time, and I got in on that crew when they opened. And,
awesome.
Just kept finding cool places to work.
Nobu just keeps training. They have a lot of stuff they do.
Right. It was a good experience. Robert De Niro is one of the investors.
Yeah.
So
is he still with Nobu?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So in the grand opening, he was there, and Nobu was there quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Got to work with a bunch of ingredients that I'd never seen before because I'm just a country boy from Athens.
Sure, yeah, yeah. Well, that's awesome. So when you got you've been with Abacus for how long now?
7 years, going on 7 years.
Okay, 7 years, and you're the culinary director for Abacus and Jasper's.
Yes.
So you do all the menu items on both, and then you also have a catering side too, don't you?
We have a catering side, and then we have 2 concepts at the airport.
Okay, I didn't know that. Are those Jasper's or those Abacus? What are they?
There's Whitetail Bistro in D Terminal, and then we have a Hickory, which is our barbecue joint, in Terminal B.
Okay, so you have you don't smoke. Can you smoke inside? How do you smoke?
Yeah. We're one of the first in the country to develop a concept at an airport where we smoke everything in house.
Wow, that's amazing. So you can smoke in there.
It took a lot of negotiation to make that happen, but we are smoking in the airport in the terminal.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm sure that people are going to take they're going to take what you did now and just multiply it and put it in a bunch of different places.
Yeah, I've heard of there's another concept that opened, I think don't quote me on it, but I think it's in Atlanta somewhere that somebody has to start and open the door.
Someone has to make it happen.
Right.
Like anything else. So the other one, you said Whitetail?
Whitetail Bistro.
So is that, what is that?
It's
Casual?
it's more of along the Jasper's lines.
Oh, cool. So Abacus, how would you describe the food at Abacus? Because you have a, I was going through the menu, and of course I've been over there to the Dirty Dozen Cooking School, but y'all have a pretty big menu at Abacus. So how would you describe that menu? What kind of food would you just say?
It's definitely evolved over the years with different chefs that have come through. Omar was a big influence on the menu when he was there. Trey Wilcox was a big influence, and now that since I took over, I kind of switched to what inspired me, and so we have a lot of game that kind of showcases my roots and where I come from. I try to use a lot of local Texas products.
Sure.
And sometimes it's hard to get a hold of, especially I was working with some farmers in Athens where I grew up,
right.
And it proved kind of difficult to get that stuff in all the time.
To Dallas, yeah.
And we worked as hard as we could. I'll try to work on a little bit harder this year. But we try to keep things seasonal. We have a lot of game influence on the menu. We have some wood-fired steaks because we have wood-burning grill.
Right. Got a smoker.
We got a smoker.
Which I thought was amazing.
We also have a sushi page on our
right.
menu.
Before I was talking about, I've eaten your food there and eaten some dishes there. I never paid attention to the sushi till I saw the menu last night. I was shocked. and you said the sushi chef's been there 12 years.
Yeah, he's been there for 12 years. He's, just been doing his thing, and he's really good. In
today's times, 12 years is a long time to be at a job. I think the average is like 14 months or 13 months, something like that for crazy.
It's kind of a testament to, I guess the pride that everybody at Abacus, all of our employees, they have in their work, and they take ownership of that restaurant. And when I started 7 years ago, I was impressed at how professional and prideful everybody was about where they are working and what they do. And that's been part of the success of Abacus over the years.
Well, I'll tell you what's beautiful surrounding the restaurant is amazing. The interior, the motif, it's very beautiful and classy, but it's also very inviting. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of open kitchens and open dining rooms, and everything is open there except for that one room off to the left. But you can see everything, and I love being able to see in the kitchen. I think that it builds the people there like seeing what goes on in the kitchen, or at least being able to see back there. Well,
also the noise that comes from the kitchen.
Sure.
Kind of creates a little bit of ambiance in the dining room.
Does anything come there? It shouldn't come from there.
I'm not going to confirm or deny.
That's a good one. That's good. So, what's your favorite dish at Abacus to cook? If someone said, "Patrick, make me your favorite dish," what would you make it?
Venison is always a good go-to, and it's kind of been our mainstay for a little while. I took it to James Beard House. I think it's a good solid protein that we're using. And we kind of set it up in different ways, obviously seasonally,
right?
And continue with that. We also have some good Texas quail on the menu that we
I like quail.
Change up every once in a while. We were talking about doing a rabbit dish coming up in the spring.
That'll be good.
So
when you change your menu seasonal, correct? Not the whole thing, but you add different things seasonal, correct? So it's 4 times a year for you.
Well, It kind of works out to be a little bit more than that. Right now we're getting ready for Valentine's Day.
Right.
And so we have a prefix menu for Valentine's Day, and it's all new items. So in the next, four or 5 days, we're going to change the whole menu to reflect the Valentine's Day menu. And then after that, we're going to move into a spring menu. So it kind of evolves as
the months go on. That's neat. Is it hard to make that transition? Is it hard for the people in the kitchen? We talked about this a while ago about change. Is it hard for them to make that transition in the kitchen when you do that?
It's about communication and setting your guys up for success.
Key thing, communication.
Yeah. So when in planning these dishes, you want them to be executable by your staff.
Sure.
But also you want to help them understand the transition. And so we're not going to, if 4 new items are coming off a station, we're not going to do all 4 of those items in one night because that would kill the guy.
Right.
So we'll do, 1 or 2, and then the next day we'll do 2 more, let them get comfortable.
Right. And y'all have done that quite a bit now. So, I mean, you do it yearly. So is everybody kind of in the flow? Because I know your kitchen doesn't turn over that much. So is it easy for the people to be in the flow once they make that change?
Yeah. I mean, surprisingly enough, it's pretty easy to change dishes because the chefs will do all the prep work, and we'll write, in doing that, we're writing the recipes so that when we hand the cook the items for a new dish, they'll have a recipe packet with all the recipes. They'll have all the prep, so they see what it's supposed to look like. And then we show them how to cook it, how to plate it.
Sure. And
it usually only takes one time, and they got it. I mean,
so when you create a dish, how many times do you have to make that dish before that dish it actually comes out the way you want it to? Before you can say, "Hey, eat this. We'll put this on the menu. Let's everybody eat it."
Ideally once, but I'd be lying if that was true.
Yeah, it takes a while, right?
So some of the stranger ideas, sometimes it takes a little tweaking to make all the flavors work.
Sure.
And sometimes it just all works out, and sometimes when you make a mistake and
it's better than what you had planned.
Right. You didn't plan on that, and you're like, I don't like this, and then everybody tries it, and
bam.
I can't remember what it was. There was a dish I didn't like. I didn't even like the idea, and we had to follow through with it.
Right.
And I presented it to the servers, and they kept talking about how great it was, and it ended up staying on the menu for a while.
Well, that's good, right? That's good. And I know. Restaurants have changed in the last 10 years dramatically. And I talked about this last week, but farm to table, fresh ingredients found in the area, which is really important, of course, in creating a flavorful dish. You get pretty much everything from the Dallas area, or do you get some outsourced, or how do you do it?
It's pretty difficult to buy everything 100% within 100 miles of your restaurant. We work with local farmers and buy as much as we can. We use Profound Greens.
Sure.
And during that whole Caesar salad epidemic.
Oh yeah.
We were using Jeff, and we kind of skated by without having to deal with that thing.
Sure. That was a mess.
It was a mess.
But that's also a positive using a smaller farmer in the area. You don't have to worry about where did my lettuce come from, or where did my tomato, or where did anything come from.
Well, with everything, with your proteins and Texas beef producers are some of the best in the country. And when we say we're going to buy from 44 farms, for example,
right?
I drive through Cameron, Texas,
right,
quite often,
right,
and so I see the fields. And to me, it's part of knowing and seeing the land where these plants and animals are growing that gives me pride to put it on the menu.
Well, you're passionate about what you do, and so it makes you feel better. And I think knowing all that also puts more passion in you, because you feel and for sure in your heart where it's coming from, how it's going to taste.
Right. It makes you feel good about what you're presenting to your customers.
Sure. Have you? We talked a while ago before the show started. You were doing a video for the Texas Beef Council this week. Was it yesterday?
It was Monday and Tuesday. They're filming an educational video series for culinary schools and things like that. The whole premise was pasture to plate. So they follow the production from the growers, and then my piece was get the products, and then we put it on a plate.
That's neat. And you had fun doing that?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Now they came to Abacus to do that. They were in your kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. You got a nice kitchen over there. It's big.
It is pretty big.
It's big. It's kind of tight in those runways, though. I did that when we were doing the Dirty Dozen, the cooking class. It was a little tight.
I mean, yeah, we had
not for one guy, but for when there's 10 people back there.
Yeah, when there's 10 people on the line, it gets a little crowded. But it's a pretty open kitchen. There's a lot of room back there.
Yeah. So let's talk about Jasper's. Jasper's, you have two right now, correct?
Yes.
And tell us about the menu there. What inspired Jasper's?
So that was more of our more of a casual dining experience inspired menu. Backyard barbecue is the premise, so we do a lot of backyard barbecue inspired stuff. I think our spiel is, if a chef was going to cook you dinner in his backyard, what would he cook? And this is kind of the inspiration of what's on the menu at Jasper's.
Yeah, that's neat. I've eaten over there a couple times and I really like it. I had I just really, really enjoyed it. And it was just the people in there were, and it's another open concept. I could see, the whole restaurant. I like to sit at the bars where I can see everything going on.
The design in the kitchens is a lot the same between all the restaurants, which is kind of cool because I can go from Abacus and go to any one of the Jaspers and it feels like you're in the same kitchen.
Got you. And how often do you make all those kitchens? You make them once a week, or let's back up. What is your day? What is your weekly and what does your week job entail? Like, what do you do? You're not stuck in the kitchen Abacus all week every week. So what do you do? How do you do it?
I am in Abacus.
Are you?
Most of the time. That's my home base. I'll go do visits with Jaspers, once a month or so, but a lot of it is, calling and dealing through email. We wrote some wine dinner menus for some wine dinners coming up. As far as menu changes, when it's time for us to do a menu change, and we're coming up on that point for Jasper's, then all the chefs will all get together and sit down and have a round table in one of the Jasper's restaurants and kind of go through the menu. And once we decide on a game plan, then we'll cook everything and test it, and then we'll go through with the menu change.
And how many chefs do you have at Jasper's?
Right now we have two at the two concepts.
Okay.
Actually, I guess in Richardson we have two really seasoned chefs there, and then Ruben in Houston.
Oh,
because we have Timo and V, and they're good, strong, solid chefs, and so when I talk about them, they work in tandem. So they're kind of a chef duo team.
Gotcha. Well, you seem to be pretty comfortable with that. That was a comfortable snicker.
I've been working with these guys for a while.
Sure.
And, we're a big family. So.
Well, you have to be, don't you think? I mean, today's market has changed so much in the last 10 years. And it seems like because of social media and everything, that stuff just evolves monthly. I mean, changes and dishes and customers and how you get, I mean, it's crazy how fast everything changes nowadays. When we were in the restaurant business, it took years to change anything. Mm-hmm. And now stuff just changes, it seems like weekly.
Everything's digital.
Yeah.
And, everything is, uploaded in the instant and somebody's doing the next cool thing. It's going to go viral and everybody's going to know about it in a matter of hours. Or if you make a big mistake in your restaurant, which, knock on wood, hopefully we don't, everybody's going to know about that.
Sure.
Like the next day.
Or no, an hour later.
Right. Well, it depends on how long it takes them to write their review.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's good. There's so many review sites too. Oh my gosh. But y'all stay on top of that. Y'all social media team is good.
We actually have a program called, Review Push. I think that's who we're using now, and they'll go through the internet, and they'll every time a review is written, and they'll look for tag words like Abacus or Jaspers. So every day we'll get an email with all the latest reviews that came out the previous day,
so you can stay on top of everything.
Yeah, it's kind of sometimes it's nerve-wracking, but but at least we have the information and we can contact the guests if we made a mistake, that sort of thing.
Yeah, the thing and here this is just my opinion. I'm a positive guy. If something's bad, I just don't report it. I'm a positive guy. I believe in having a positive atmosphere and positive experiences for people who follow me. Mm-hmm. But I know that. Sorry about that. I know that's actually the guy at my ranch. I know that there's a lot of people that make reviews and stuff, and sometimes they make reviews off the cuff because they're just mad about some small thing and they blow up into a big thing. Mm-hmm. And I guess you have to differentiate. You can probably tell by reading a review or if you were there kind of what happened, if it was really what happened or if they exaggerated the claim quite a bit.
Well, and sometimes people just don't say anything.
Yeah.
And that's the trend that I've noticed, I mean, used to, if somebody had a bad experience, they would call the manager over, they explain the situation.
Right.
The restaurant would bend over backwards to make them happy so that they come back, and everything was taken care of, while they're in the restaurant before they leave. Now, the trend is that, people won't say anything at all.
Yeah.
And they have a complaint, and then they'll just go home and write a review.
Yeah. I think, and here's the thing. I think that the digital age has helped in some instances, but it's also hurt. It's done sometimes more harm than good, because I think we've lost our face-to-face.
Right.
value.
Right. That face-to-face interaction.
Right.
Has just kind of started to go away.
Because everybody wants to make it right. I mean, they do. You can't have a restaurant the size, or anybody in Dallas have a restaurant and not want to make it right. But if they don't know about it and somebody writes a review, then you've got to start back. You got to try to get a hold of them or message them or whatever to try to solve that problem. And sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Right.
And it's just
yeah, and I mean, all these hours spent trying to track people down that didn't have a reservation, and a lot of times there are walk-ins, and so there's no way to really track,
Sure.
who they are or what their phone number is, and but overall, for the most part, most of the reviews are positive.
Sure. Oh,
and,
yeah.
It helps us.
How long have you been there now? Abacus, how long's been there?
The
restaurant
has been there for 20 years.
Yeah, so I would say the reviews are positive. Yeah, I mean, y'all managed to be there 20 years and change, so yeah, that's obvious. Yeah, it's a given.
Right. Good point.
Yeah. So, what is your when you're in the kitchen, Abacus? What is your or not even the kitchen, Abacus? If you're anywhere, what is your favorite spice to cook with? What would be your favorite spice?
Well, I mean, chilies.
Chilies, you like chilies?
Yeah, I like dried chilies. My friend at Profound, Jeff, he brought us a whole bunch of Carolina Reapers.
Profound is a farm.
Yes.
Correct. So I'm okay, everybody. Profound Farms, correct?
Yes.
And they're here locally.
They're a little bit, they're in the Dallas area.
Yeah, they're local. Okay.
But he decided to grow some Carolina Reapers, and this is the first batch, so they're not
my gosh,
they're not full strength yet.
Carolina Reaper?
But he wasn't producing a lot.
Oh.
So little by little, we saved enough to make a hot sauce. So we, lacto fermented Carolina Reaper sauce.
Okay,
and it's really good. You just got to be ready for it.
How hot? So for the normal person, can the normal person just eat that, or are you just very sparing on when you do it?
Like a drop.
Like a drop. Oh, really? Because I've seen some of those Carolina Reaper videos on social media. Oh my gosh, they're crazy.
Well, I thinned it out with a little bit of red pepper, so it add a little bit of sugar to the mix. But again, this is the first crop of these plants. But this season, they should be full strength.
So when you want to bring a hot sauce down, the heat down the hot sauce, like what if a normal person wanted to bring a heat down the hot sauce, how would they do it? If they're making a hot sauce and using Carolina Reapers, what process would they use to dull the heat down in it?
Well, I have a habanero sauce, and I noticed I've had it for like 2 years. I think I had it at Chef for Farmers when we met.
It was good. I tried it,
but it's been hanging out for 2 years, and in that 2 years, it got real mild about a year ago, and then all of a sudden it got hot again. It was interesting how it changed over time. But usually when I'm making these hot sauces, I'll instead of using 100% of the hot peppers, you add in some sweeter mild peppers to kind of bulk it up, and then a little bit of the hot peppers for heat. So if you want a milder sauce, but you still want that red look, I would just do a bunch of peppers and a couple habaneros or Carolina Reapers. That way you still get the flavor, and the heat, just not as much of it.
A friend of mine, David, Chef David Holster?
Yeah.
Okay. Holster's he's a big hot sauce guy. I mean, he loves hot sauce. We've done 2 taco deals together, 2 taco events. He's always messing. He had me try this one sauce. No, let me tell you something. It was they videoed me. I mean, I was not. He knew what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen because I love hot sauce.
That's just mean. He had a video camera.
Well, no person that was with me was video camera. My friends were videoing me because I just didn't know. But he kind of told. I guess he told them when I wasn't there because I was walking around doing other stuff, kind of like a Chef for Farmers. So it was just, but yeah, it was very hot. But it's funny. He makes great hot sauces. So.
Yeah.
So what do you use hot sauce for at Abacus?
Well, various things. when I first started the habanero sauces, we would put them on oysters, or we'll make some aiolis and then add a little bit of the hot sauce to it. I think we're doing a coleslaw right now, though. It's like we're using the habanero because I have so much of it. Right. So we call it a fermented habanero coleslaw. So
but that's good.
But it just takes a couple drops.
I got to come eat some of that.
But again, it's so potent that it's taken us a while to go through all of it because it's
so potent. Have you had anybody say I just can't eat it?
We do have a regular that eats at the bar 2 or 3 times a week, and he wants the Carolina Reaper sauce with his French fries.
Oh my gosh!
Every time he comes in, he wants a little side of that hot sauce
to dip his French fries.
Dips his French fries in it.
Oh my god! So we're going to go to a break here in just a few minutes. Here in just a couple seconds, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more with Chef Chris Patrick from Abacus and Jasper's. I thought it was 2. So we got 20 seconds. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to talk about Abacus and Jasper's, and then some other things about his career. Thank you.
Dating today with all the crazies out there has to be nuts.
Yes, it really would. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a place you could go to find people who think like you do?
Like me, like libertarians and conservatives?
Right?
There is. WeThePeople.dating.
Amazing. What a genius idea. This is a site that you can go to if you're single and you are looking for somebody who you know you're going to think the same way, as for from a political freedom standpoint. If you want to date the right person for you, you'll find them in one place. WeThePeople.dating.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
It's a funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone, RIDUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism, so you're burning more.
Yeah,
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Yeah. I like your whole staff. All right, everybody, this is Trey's Chow Down Live back on Spoony Radio with Chef Chris Patrick. Chris, I want to talk a little bit about. I don't want to call you Chris or Chef Patrick.
Chris is
good, but you work so hard to get that chef title.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's okay. Listen, one thing I want to talk about now is the Dirty Dozen cooking class, because I had a lot of fun at that. A guy. Brandon Baker from Brandon Does Dallas, called to me, texted me, messaged me, and we're talking about, I ought to go to it. And I went, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And for anybody who hasn't gone and loves to cook, you really ought to check into the Abacus Dirty Dozen cooking class. You can go to the website, right?
Yes, it's on all the new dates for 2019 are on our website. Our first cooking class for 2019 is coming up on this Sunday. So we've already gotten into the new year with our first class.
And this is not a cooking class like you've seen before. This is a fantastic. You cook, you learn, you cook, you educate them. They drink wine, right? They get to drink some wine.
Yes.
Yeah. Not in the kitchen, but they get to taste wine and taste the food. And it was funny because I remember when we first started, one of the things was when he was giving, because I give an intro, and he said, act like everything in the kitchen is 1,000 degrees, which I thought was neat. That's something that stuck in my mind.
Yeah, over the years, we found it beneficial to kind of help people with some safety topics in the kitchen, but it just keeps everybody aware of what's going on.
Sure.
But yeah, like you said, this isn't like a cooking class that you've ever seen before, because our whole premise is the chefs, we don't work. We guide you as the
I saw you working though. I saw you wrapping that big. Remember I took a video of that. What was that?
What do? We did a porchetta.
Right. Where you wrapped it and you tied it off and you showed how to tie it off.
We butterflied a pork belly and stuffed it and then tied it and smoked it. In
right.
Well, sometimes you.
Right.
You just have to get your hands dirty.
Yeah. But no, it is not. I thought it was one of the best things and most fun events I've ever attended. I attend a lot of events every year. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was knowledgeable. People work at different stations. You get to actually go in the kitchen, use all the kitchen tools, just like a chef does. And I know. And when I was there, I noticed there were some people in the class that have been to a bunch of classes there.
Yeah, we have some regulars that come. I think right now we have 2 or 3 regulars that come to every class. They just love to be in the kitchen and learn something new. And I'm surprised, because I try to think about what we did at the last class, and I still have to think about it because we've done so many of these over the years. But it's surprising to me that our regulars, when they come up to me and say, "Yeah, that was really great. I learned something this day," and then I feel like I accomplished something. Right. Because sometimes it's hard to find more new content to teach somebody that's been coming for the past 15 years.
Isn't that amazing? But that's a testament to how good your cooking class is. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
We definitely have a good time, and like I said, the guests that come, they get to do all the work, and they get to see what it's like to work in a kitchen. And I think this time, we did a buffet.
Right, we did, yeah.
We have an Italian class coming up on Sunday, and we're going to do a plated. So they're going to see what it's like to work in a working kitchen, do kind of a banquet style plated dish.
Well, let me tell you, we had a buffet. I couldn't wait. I was like, "Come on, man, get the food out!" Y'all were messing around. I was about friend while y'all were messing around. I was like, "Put the food down! Put the food down! I want to eat."
We had a little bit of food in that buffet.
And I took so many pictures. They all came out great. But yeah, that was really fun. And so y'all lined the food up, and then each chef gave a little bit of rendition about the dishes and what all went into it. It was just absolutely. Everybody loved it. Everybody's out there. It's the first class I've ever actually been to where people don't talk when they're not supposed to. They don't say anything when they're supposed to. They listen, and everybody just enjoyed it. It was phenomenal. Abacus, go to the website. Go to the website and check out the Dirty Dozen Cooking School.
Yeah, we still got room for our classes, so if you want to sign up, we got room for you.
Wait, and they get a chef's coat too, correct?
Yes, you get a chef jacket with your name on it when you sign up.
Right, and you get to take that home with you. Of course, if you're going to go back again, you'll wear it back. You'll come back again when you wear it.
Yeah,
but it's a real chef coat. It's a neat deal.
With the little buttons and everything.
Yeah, it's neat. It's really neat. So, okay, I want to talk about the menu at Jasper's. And we talked a little bit about the concept, but let's talk a little bit about you. So what is actually on the menu at Jasper's?
So we have, like I said, it's a backyard barbecue inspired cuisine. So we have, we have rotisserie chicken. We have some smoked pork ribs. We've got, with baked potato salad.
Sure.
We've got a rotisserie prime rib that's rotisseried over a wood-fired grill. We got some, wood-fired steaks. We've got some trout, salmon. It's a good, eclectic, Texas-inspired barbecue.
Yeah. I've eaten there twice. I'm trying to think. I had some kind of chips with.
Yeah, the Maytag blue cheese.
Yes, that's what it was. God, that was good.
So it's house-made Kennebec potato chips, and then they have a blue cheese sauce with some Maytag blue cheese. I don't think we're using Maytag anymore because that was my bad.
So you make your own chips there too, though?
Yes.
And that's those are sliced really thin, correct? Mm-hmm. And you blanch them. How do you make those chips?
The chips, we use Kennebec chip stock potatoes.
Okay.
You just slice them real thin, rinse them. Is a big important part. Get all the starch off.
Right.
And then if you fry them at a low temperature, that's all it takes. They come out crispy. We also use Kennebecs for our French fries, hand cut fries, and same thing. Rinse the starch off, blanch them in oil for a few minutes, and then finish.
I think that makes a better French fry. You know, taking the more starch out. I think it has more flavor to it.
Right. They don't get as caramelized.
Right.
And they, I mean, Kennebec potatoes are the best French fry and chip potato out there, and you can really tell a difference. I think we were out in California one time at a burger joint, and as soon as we got the French fries, you know, I was all talking to my wife, these are Kennebecs, and she's like, what are you talking about? Why are you so excited about this? Oh, never mind.
I'm the same way. I'm passionate
potatoes.
About food. Yeah, I'm passionate about food too, and that's why I get so excited about various things. And I can sit down and eat, and you know, just eat, just try new things and stuff. And I get the same when I go certain places. You got to try. Some people are like, what is wrong with you? I'm just try it, try it. You know. So
you know, food brings out passion in people.
Yes, it does.
And it also brings people together. And, you know, like you saw that in the cooking class, people, you know, we worked a little hard. And then we got to sit down together as a group and have a buffet, and everybody, you know, sat together in different tables and got to know each other.
Yep.
So.
Food and drink brings everybody together. Mm-hmm. That's one thing I say. It's just, and my big thing is too, nowadays is that I really push hard for people to try new things, because so many people don't. They get in ruts in there, and they like a certain type of food, and they won't try various things. And so that's why I post and try so much stuff, you know, and post during the week on my sites, because I like people to try new things. And if you make it look good and make it sound good, then they'll go try it. And most time when somebody tries something, they'll like it. It's just that initial getting them to try it, you know, step out of their comfort zone a little bit.
Right. Yeah, a few cooking classes ago, we had, I think it was a game class, and I had some like elk loin, and I had a girl in my group that had never had elk before, and you know, at the beginning she was like, "Well, I'm not going to try it. I've never had elk. It doesn't look good." But then she sat down and ate it, and her reasoning was, "Well, I spent all this time cooking it, so I might as well try it." And you know, she was sold on it. She was like, "This is the best thing I've ever had. I can't believe I've never tried it before." You know. So sometimes it just takes somebody, you know, watching somebody else cook it, seeing the process, and then got her to try it.
And I think, I don't know, you know, you're a chef, I'm not, but I think it's the preconceived notion of what something tastes like, what they think the texture is, what the flavor profile is going to be, and where it came from, or you know, what they've heard in the past, or what they've seen. And a lot of stuff is not true. I mean, it's not true.
Right. Well, especially game, because when people think about game, they think about the deer that their granddad shot, or their, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they're used to like it being prepared, you know, however their mom or dad prepared it. But you know, in a restaurant setting, we get different types of deer, and it's a lot different. So
I've told this story, but I'm going to tell you real quick. It's a story I got to tell about. If you heard it last week, I'm sorry, I'm going to tell it one more time. It was a fantastic story. So I was over at John Teaser had brought his friend in from California who has a caviar and a fish farm, and he flies everything overnight to people's doors. And he had like 10 different caviars with his Passmore Ranch, and so we went over there. He had 10 different kinds of caviar. And we had we had cheeseburgers, and we put some different caviar on the cheeseburgers, delicious. But I was talking to them, and I heard one of them talk about French fries, and I just didn't dawn on me. And then all of a sudden, these plates of French fries, John's French fries, show up. So I said, "We're going to eat French fries," and Michael Passmore said, "No, we're going to dip the French fries in the caviar." So we started dipping French fries. That was exotic. I tried all these caviar
with French fries,
fresh. Wonderful French fries, fresh caviar. It was a phenomenal experience. I wrote an article about it. That was a great experience. You can imagine sitting there eating caviar with French fries.
Yeah, so the next time you go get caviar at a restaurant, you're going to ask for some French fries. They're going to look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah, that's right. But you know, it's those experiences, you know, you can't take back.
Right.
So I met you at Chef for Farmers, and that's a fantastic event they do every year. What I forgot, what you had was delicious, but I ate so many things that I forgot. What did you serve?
We took our smoker.
That's right. I got the pictures. Yeah. It was good.
Had it right next to the gazebo where Dean and his band were playing. That's right. We kind of smoked them out a little bit, but we did a smoked Aberrand Ranch eye of round. Yeah. We smoked them when we got there, sliced them real thin, and did like a cheesesteak slider with that smoked eye.
Yeah, it was really good. And y'all had your smoker there, and the fire was going. I took some great pictures that day. That was a fantastic event.
Yeah, we were done smoking right when the event started, but we kept the fire going because I had a little ambiance.
A value. It's value. It's value. People come by. Plus, I saw it from all the way across the deal.
Right.
I saw it was just right to the side of the where Dean was playing, and I was like, man, I got to go over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was part of the draw too.
Delicious.
Everybody wants to see that smoker. Yeah, it was a great event this year, and we look forward to participation this year. Iris has done a great job in building her event, and we really like the new location.
Right. Yeah, it's nice.
So
it was spaced out, so it wasn't crowded, because a lot of those events they get in a smaller area, and you can't. There's so many people. There's a lot of people out there, and I still had room to go everywhere I wanted to go. It was nothing. There was nothing. It was just super packed.
Yeah, and everything was so spread out.
Yeah,
and then the heritage buildings kind of gave a
sure
new kind of feel. And
you're doing that. You're doing that event again. You're doing that event again this year, correct?
Yeah, we plan on. We always plan on participating.
Sure,
as we can.
I love it. If you haven't, you need to check out Chef for Farmers. So I do have another question about what you like to cook with. What is your favorite green, your favorite vegetable to cook with? Like if you're going to cook, if you had to pick one, what would it be?
Ooh, vegetables.
That's great. That's why everybody looks at vegetables, right?
So my friend, we were getting them in, I think in the fall last year. My friend in Athens, she was growing some Chinese long beans, but she also had.
What is a Chinese long bean?
It's like a green bean, but they grow
real long. Really obviously, long bean. Okay.
But she had some red ones too that looked really different, and we tempura fried them with the sauce.
Tempura? Okay.
And then put them on a plate, and it looked like a funnel cake.
Oh wow!
But it was long beans, and
what sauce did you use?
We did like it was like a Thai peanut sauce, but I made it with macadamia nuts.
So how long are they? Well,
it depends. They can about a foot and a half.
Oh wow! So how does the flavor profile change from the red to the green? What's the difference? Is there
not much?
Not much. Just the color.
Just has that that fresh green bean flavor to it. The texture and it went well together when you fried it. Just interesting.
That's awesome. It was a light tempura batter, like a tempura shrimp or whatever. And was it an appetizer?
Yeah, well, we served it as a side, but people ordered it as an appetizer.
Was it popular?
It was pretty popular.
It sounds good to me right now.
And they were hard to get too. So as soon as we got them in,
right,
we would sell out of them because she was only producing so much at a time.
Oh, well.
So they went pretty quick. Maybe that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah, well, that's like some of the barbecue joints nowadays. They don't get enough of it in, or they don't sell enough of it, and they're sold out. Sometimes I think they do that for the mystique or to get people coming back. Sometimes I think do it. Just because they ran out. It just depends on why they do it, but they do it. That's popular nowadays.
Well, you don't want a lot of, leftover products.
Right.
You want it to be fresh. I mean, I get it in barbecue.
Yeah. You can't have leftover products in barbecue.
Right.
And have it taste good.
Right. So it makes sense, And, there are places still in the city that, crap, I should have come earlier.
And you also have a new happy hour that's real popular. Y'all been promoting, right, at Abacus?
Yes,
Abacus and Jaspers, or just Abacus?
Jaspers has one also. We're working to promote the one at Abacus to get more people coming in during the week. But we do have a decent happy hour from 5 to 7. Today's Friday, and I'll
bet it's gonna be good.
We've built a pretty good crowd on Fridays.
You have a lot of small bites. You have some small bites you make too, correct, for that?
There's about 5 or 6 items, including a couple sushi rolls. We've got a couple pizzas, a burger, and they're all $6 or something like that, with $6 cocktails.
It's still, when I saw your sushi menu, it gets me because your restaurant is so awesome. I just didn't, after all I saw at the cooking class, I never once thought about sushi. And I love sushi. I'd harass you about that day if I'd known. So that's great.
Yeah, I think we have a cooking class planned for the summer where we're gonna do.
Oh, really?
We're gonna do
teach people how to roll,
Asian inspired, and do some sushi.
Is that hard to learn how to roll sushi? Do that? It's art, isn't it?
Yeah, it takes practice. It definitely
they make it look easy on TV,
right? It takes practice.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny, man. So what are your plans for this next weekend? You got anything special coming up? Y'all doing Valentine's Day?
Yeah, we have Valentine's Day coming up. We have a prefix menu for Thursday. We're gonna run it Thursday on Valentine's Day and on Friday, and then we're gonna do our a la carte menu on Saturday.
And just for somebody who's listening, what kind of special menu items are you going to have for, give us a couple of good ones for Valentine's?
We're doing for entrees, we're doing some lobster thermidor, We have a beef tenderloin fillet. We have a really good short rib dish because it's been cold outside. Some good Valentine's items. We have a sushi. We're doing a sushi duo as one of the courses.
And what is a sushi duo? So
it'll be a little tartare and then a sushi,
cool.
half a sushi roll.
That sounds good.
So we've got some good, clean.
Yeah, a lot of different flavor profiles there, which is neat.
Valentine's kind of inspired items.
So the lobster, what comes with that? What is that? Explain what that dish would be like.
The lobster thermidor.
Yes.
It's going to be a half lobster with thermidor sauce,
right.
like a bechamel with
Right.
And then we're going to do some whipped potatoes and broccoli rabe to go with it.
And y'all's wine selection is very good Abacus too, correct?
Yes.
Is it? So I didn't see the wine at Jasper's. Also have wine at Jasper's. It's a big selection.
Jasper's is a little bit more streamlined because of the price point.
Right.
But there's still a very good selection of wines at Jasper's. We have, obviously, Abacus is a little bit different, so we have more of a broader selection, different price ranges, but still a lot of good value wines. And the cool thing about being at Abacus for the past few years, we have good relationships with our wine vendors. So as much time as I spend working with farmers and vendors on the food side, we spend that much time on the wine side. And, we have friends, winemakers that come into the restaurant all the time. When we go out to their neck of the woods, take us to their properties. And so it's a good relationship as far as that goes too.
You only have so much space in a restaurant or any restaurant for wine. How do you choose? It's not just your palate, or is it just, is there a variety of people that come in and say, all right, y'all all try it, or how do you choose a wine that you want to sell in Abacus or that you want to promote? How do you do that? That you're comfortable with? Well,
our management staff on the front and outside, they have some really good palates, and it's the flavor profile. It's also the price point. It's all negotiation.
Sure. And do you ever buy a certain wine because it's going to go good with the dish you want to do? Pair it with the dish you want to do?
Yeah. Well, we do wine dinners and stuff, and so part of the wine dinner deal is that we bring in some of those wines. So there's a Chenin Blanc that we tried for a dinner that we have coming up that'll be really good in the summer, and so it's a good transition for us to get some of these labels on the menu.
Oh, that'd be awesome. What are you going to do? You're going to create a special menu for that wine dinner?
Yes.
Okay. How many wine dinners do you have a year?
We do
at Abacus. You only have an Abacus, correct?
No, we do them at Jasper's.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Right now we're doing one a month.
Oh, wow.
We're skipping February because of Valentine's Day,
and
everything. But we have one coming up in March. So we usually do one a month. We also do like a happy hour tasting. So last night we had a Spanish wine happy hour, where we had, I believe it was four different Spanish wines, varietals.
Wow.
And then we had some food to pair with it. We're doing a whiskey one coming up for the happy hour thing at Abacus. And then Jasper's has happy hours as well, wine tastings.
So they can is it kind of like a beer flight type deal?
You pay, whatever we decide the price is, $25, $30. You get to try, all the wine, and then you get the small bites to go with it.
That's neat. That
was the one we had last night was from 5 to 7, so 2 hours of wine tasting, food.
And I still think that, and I think the prices at Abacus, going over the menus when I was there, I still think the prices are fantastic. I don't think they're for what y'all give at Abacus. I think they're very well worth it.
Yeah, we're working on our value and working on getting the prices down a little bit lower so it's a little bit more approachable. But that doesn't mean the quality isn't going to be the same.
No, I know.
We're still working hard to get that. But I think if we can give up a little bit of food costs, to get this item on and get some other things on, then that's okay.
We talked about this before we started in the restaurant industry, and in general, just it evolves really quick now. So you have to be able to change and adapt and do things with times, and y'all seem to do a really good job with that. There,
it takes practice.
Yeah, well, but a lot of restaurants don't. And that's why they fail. But y'all seem to do a very good job with that.
Yeah, you have to be receptive about guest needs and also trends in the industry.
And you have to be willing to make that change in that industry too. You have to be willing to say, okay, I'm open to change, because some people aren't.
You have to be.
Yeah.
and you have to evolve. I
Yeah.
mean, and you know, that's just a recipe for failure if you're not willing to evolve and change. But when I came on to Abacus, what really impressed me was how fast everything moved. And so, you know, it was overwhelming when I first started.
Sure.
But now it's become second nature, because you just have to keep pushing forward.
Right. Now, when you were now you and I talked about this, and I riddled questions at you when they were in the cooking class all the whole time I was there, and you pretty much always had an answer. You know, you might have been busy for a second, but you always had an answer. But I can't remember everything because I ask you. What I do is when I ask questions, I remember certain things, and the rest of I forget.
Right.
And I remember you telling me when you got hired for Abacus, was it for Abacus and Jaspers or just Abacus at first?
Just Abacus at first.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought you remember me telling me. Yeah.
Yeah. I was working at a job I didn't really like too much.
Right.
I won't name where that was, but my wife and I had just had our daughter, and I took the job because I needed to, and you know, because of the situation.
Right.
But after we had our daughter, my wife recognized that I wasn't too happy, and she told me that I needed to apply somewhere else.
That's right. I remember that. I remember you tell your wife. I remember that now. That's another thing. And I collect remember.
So I was kind of bummed out at the time because of where I was working, and I was like, I don't even know where I'm going to go from here.
Right.
I don't know if anybody will take me. I don't know where to apply. And she was like, well, I already sent your resume off, so we'll see what happens. And I was like, wait, who did you send it to?
Wait, your wife took it upon herself to send your resume out?
And a couple weeks later, I got a call from Mr. Hyde, who's the owner of Abacus Jaspers, and did some interviews. And I was applying at Blue Plate at the time, and I was just, my plan was to get my foot in the door, and then hopefully work my way up into Abacus later. So I went through the interviewed at Blue Plate. They wanted to hire me, and then they pulled me to Jaspers because there's a position open over there. So I went to Jaspers and interviewed, and then during that process, one of the sous chefs at Abacus left, and hey, do you want this job at Abacus? Yes.
Yes,
I do.
yes, I do. That's awesome. She sent the resume out. Well, she just took it to control, didn't she?
She did.
That's awesome. Behind every successful man, a successful woman.
Exactly.
Pushing him. So that's glad she did that, huh? Then how long were you there before Jaspers came into the mix?
That started at the beginning of 2018. It slowly.
So that's relatively new for you then.
It's slowly been kind of happening as things changed. I got involved with some of that stuff. It was really the airport projects that I started first.
Okay.
And then beginning of 2018, they pulled me into the Jaspers side. And then we inherited our catering entity at the end of last year.
Right. So you didn't, but you do the catering out of Abacus there? Mm-hmm. I guess you do that. You do that. Was that on the side over there? So when you go to the back, do you do or are you doing it in the kitchen itself too?
We're doing it in the kitchen. I mean, we got a lot of space back there.
Yeah.
So for those of y'all who don't know, we had catering at Jaspers Plano.
Right. Okay.
And it moved to Abacus. So we're still doing catering. It's just operating out of Abacus now. So it's still Jaspers Catering. And we've got quite a few events coming up. It's building. After the new year, it kind of slowed down a little bit, but.
And the two restaurants at the airport, you said D Terminal?
D Terminal is Hickory.
Hickory. And
then B Terminal is Whitetail Bistro.
Whitetail Bistro. Now, which is D the new terminal?
D's the international terminal.
That's right. Okay, that's right. And they just redid that a few years ago, right?
Right.
Okay. Is that the 2-story terminal?
Mm-hmm.
And are you on the, where's Hickory?
Well, no, it has there's a duty-free shop that's 2-story.
Okay.
But it's like a half circle shape.
So if anybody's traveling, Terminal D, Terminal B.
That's right.
Whitetail is in B?
Whitetail's in D.
D.
Hickory's in B.
Hickory's in B. I'm going to try one of them out there. That'd be fun. Just try it.
Well, B is the domestic flights mostly. So for the most part, if you're going to fly out domestically out of DFW, it'll be out of B.
Cool. And before I start announcing everything we got to do tomorrow and some other events, tell me when Chef Patrick is not, or Chris is not at work, what does he like to do?
I think you asked me that in the cooking class.
Yeah,
my quick response was naps, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I like
you told me you're an outdoor guy.
Yeah, we like to go camping as much as we can, and I inherited a bunch of woodworking tools from my dad. So when I'm not camping or taking naps, I guess I'm outside woodworking and playing with the kids.
That's neat. You gotta have fun with that.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, I really appreciate it. I'm going to see a few things here before we get out of here. We've got things we've got going on this weekend. If I can find it here, we've got a great thing going on at the Dallas Farmers Market tomorrow. It's called the Morning After Brunch, and it's got about 20 different restaurants, and it's a one fee for the ticket, and you get to try all different kinds of brunch items and some alcohol things. And then next month, and that's will be a Morning After Brunch. You can just look at social media. And we also have Between the Buns, and that's a big slider deal. That's going to be fun. I know it's a play on words, isn't it?
It's a great name.
When I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, wait. I wasn't sure what it was at first. Anyway, yeah, Between the Buns. And then, of course, next month, we have our Trey Chapman party on the Plaza, which is going to be with Daybreak ABC at the Victory Plaza over there. It's a 2-hour show in the morning. We're going to do all kinds of different hamburgers. We have different vendors coming for that. And then Between the Buns is like just a few days after that. So it'd be phenomenal. So if y'all aren't busy on Saturday and you're in the area, or even if you're not in the area and you're going to be in the area, the Morning After Brunch at the Farmers Market is going to be absolutely fantastic. So I'd love to see y'all there. Y'all don't really have brunch, so. Does Jasper's have brunch?
Jasper's has brunch.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time, yeah. Okay. And I guess that's all I have really for today. I really appreciate everybody listening. You can find us on social media at TreyChapman.com. If you go to TreyChapman.com, it goes to all of our social media links for Twitter, Instagram, and everything. And then, of course, we post every couple hours on Facebook, all our sites on Facebook. I appreciate y'all listening. We're here every week, every Friday, from 10A to 11A. And, of course, you can catch us on Spoony, what you're listening to right now, Dash, and, of course, the website. And I appreciate everybody for listening. And next week we have I don't think I have my thing with me, dadgummit. Well, anyway, we got a great chef next week. That wasn't very good for planning, was it? I appreciate everybody. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll catch y'all next week.
This is the only 24-hour take-anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. In a politically charged congressional hearing, Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker defends his oversight